What's up, everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Joshi Weekly series here on the YouTube channel. This time, a new theming for the Joshi Weekly series. This is your Stardom update. We are going to review the final 2 days of the Goddesses of Stardom Tag League, talk about your winners, as you can see on the screen right now, which I'm going to celebrate in big time fashion, and we're just going to talk a lot about what is coming up in the world of Stardom. This is something you could try to look forward to from time to time when there's not a big show to review or something of the sorts, but there's news and other items to talk about. And that's what we have here today. So hopefully you enjoy this edition of the Joshi Weekly series as we do our Stardom update. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for the continued support. Hopefully, you are enjoying all the content we continue to bring to the table each and every week right here on the channel. I'm very proud of what we've been doing. I'm very proud of what continues to come out. And with the year end right around the corner, there is so much coming up. I think from the final 2 weeks of December through the first 2 weeks of January, it is action packed videos pretty much every other day. So be excited for that. These few weeks we'll get through. We have plenty planned still. But yeah, it's the best time of the year in terms of pro wrestling, in terms of Joshi wrestling, and so much more. So hopefully you all enjoy that. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you go check out the Rina and Hina video that I put up earlier, or should I say last week now. Really fun video to do. Talk about the breakout twins of Stardom. Talk about their incredible years from start to finish as both Rina and Hina shined massively and were among the young stars pushed by Stardom. But it didn't stop there. Of course, we will talk a lot about that here today because the youth continues to get pushed, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So, with that being said, let's get to our regularly scheduled programming here today on the Stardom Update edition of Joshi Weekly. And we start, of course, with the Tag League. So, for those who may not remember, this was going into Saturday. The playoffs were as followed. You had Natsuko Tora and Ruaka earning their number one spot through their dominance in the tournament, with Sareee and Mikukane, who defeated Natsu and Sayori on the final day to earn their number two spot, would face off against Bozilla and Akira Kuragane. On the blue side of things, however, for those who may not have known, while Hanako and Megan Bain started off 5-0 and kind of locked down that number one seed early, this field was not supposed to look like this. When the matches were over this week and we were heading into the playoffs on Thursday, it was Shuri and Saki Kashima that were actually locked into the number two seed on the blue side of things. But due to a Saki Kashima injury, that had to change. Instead, Saida and Bia Priestley, who were right behind them, or right behind Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara, would move into the number three seed, while the young Kozen duo would move up to two. And of course, the rest is history there. But we'll talk a little bit here about the Saturday show, with most of what we talk about here today on the Stardom Update edition of Joshi Weekly being about that Sunday show, that pay-per-view, for those of you who may not have checked it out. So let's get to those matches from Thursday. A packed crowd here. And also, I don't know if people noticed that Stardom kind of announced it midweek that on the original graphics, like this bracket, they originally had these semifinal matches scheduled for the 29th, but they said that was an error. Instead, the semifinal matches were supposed to be on the final night all at once. So that was a unique error on their part, but it led to a way more successful night, I think, in terms of entertainment factor when it came to how this all played out. But I want to say this real quick before we kind of get to the other parts here. Shuri and Saki Kashima, them not being in the tournament, I felt, or having to leave the tournament, was a unique aspect that I thought to myself, I wouldn't have been surprised if they were the planned winners once upon a time. Now, I'm thrilled with who won, and we're going to talk about that a lot because I had said on my preview for the tag league that I was like, I can't get myself to believe that we'd push them and hell have them even win, but we did, and that honestly is one of the happiest things I've had from Stardom all year. Maybe my favorite thing from Stardom since All-Star Grand Queendom is this tag league result. Um, but I think with Shuri and Saki Kashima, there was reason to believe that they could have won. And hear me out here. So first off, Shuri her big match is going to be at Wrestle Kingdom, right? Against Saya Kamatani, defending the IWGP Women's Championship with the New Japan Strong Women's title on the line as well. That's going to be her big match. Um, so Queendom is kind of wide open. She's not going to defend the IWGP Women's title there. Rather, they're going to collide in some form in the lead up while she's also wrestling Sayori, right? Saya, that is. So to me, I thought about this after obviously the news came out that they were out. I said, it wouldn't have been surprising if just days before she's supposed to face Saya Kamatani for the IWGP Women's title, that she faces Hate members Natsuko Tora and Ruaka for the tag belts alongside Saki Kashima, who has her own history with that faction with Natsuko Tora. I think that was definitely on the table. So that's kind of just the one thought I wanted to throw out there before we kind of get into all of this. But I felt that was kind of an interesting little twist of, maybe they were going to win. Maybe they had the chance to win. And of course, things just didn't go that way. But let's get to the actual tournament matches, starting with the red side of things. It was Sareee and Miku Kane taking on Akira Kuragane and Bozilla in quarter-final matchup. First off, obviously, I want to applaud the fact that Miku and Sareee made it to the next round. And I want to applaud Akira Kuragane, of course, getting the spot there. I think one of the unique things of this overall tournament, just to go back to that bracket, is a lot of the big tag teams that you would expect here were not here. No Natsu and Sayori, right? That's the biggest one, I think, right off the jump. No O2 line. Um, they didn't make it, which again, I think that was a big shock. I think some people thought maybe they could be winners in this entire tournament, right? No FWC, obviously, when they, underwent the lucha aspect of this. Instead, we had some new teams. We had some young wrestlers, Akira Kargane and Bozilla being, I think, the most shocking considering their story was we don't like each other. We don't really get along. And yet they made it to the next round. I don't think BMI 2000 was a shock. I don't think Hanako and Mega Bang was a shock. I think the other four is up for discussion. Young Kozen making it should be that. And I should start calling them by their official name now. I've just been calling them Young Kozen for so long, so I apologize. Rise and Shine. That's their name. I like that name a lot. I think Rise and Shine's a great name for them as a duo. So I'm going to get used to that as we go here. I've just been calling them Young Kozen, like I said, for so long. Um, but I think they showed from start to finish in this tournament that they deserve to be here. And I think the same can be said for a team like Miku Kane and Sareee, which was you have the teacher and the student learning along the way and watching Miku Kane grow and develop so much, which was one of my favorite parts of the tournament. Now, I'll be perfectly open with you all. I did not watch every single match of Tag League. I just could not do it. I didn't have the time. I went on vacation, all these different things, but I made sure to see something from every single show. I always tried to see Miku Kane and Sareee, of course. And ultimately, what you saw from start to finish was Miku Kane's development on full effect, confidence growing, quality matches, quality performances, and of course, doing that alongside Sareee is never a bad thing. So the match between these two teams, the first time around, I thought was really good. We got to see Sareee and Bozilla, kind of bring back that fire, bring back that awesomeness that we saw last year in Marigold when they were facing off. But this match right here utilized that one, which was Miku Kane pinning Akira Kuragane. They utilized that one to tell the story of this match. And Akira Kuragane said it in the promo beforehand when this was officially made. You've pinned me, you've defeated me back to back times, Miku. Now is my turn. I am going to defeat you. I'm going to get my big win over you. You are my rival type beat, right? Creating a rival for Akira, I think, is a big accomplishment in this tournament. And Miku Kane being that rival is really, really cool. Ultimately, I thought the match was very solid. I think their uh, tournament play match was a bit better because it more focused on the Sareee Bosilla side of things. But I think these two teams play to the stakes, and I think especially Akira and Miku did a really good job because they got the big spot. They got the big spot to build up towards and ultimately allowed Akira Kuragane to get probably the biggest win of her career to this point. So it was really cool to see her make it to the semifinal because, she missed out on the 5-star Grand Prix, right? She was one of the few wrestlers that didn't get to participate after losing to Yuri Hime. They went with Hime instead. So she utilized this tournament teaming with Bozilla and got to that semifinal. So good for her. I think Miku and Sareee were among the better teams in this tournament. I think honestly, Young Kozen would be the MVPs just from what I saw. Again, I didn't see everything, but I think Miku and Sareee were right behind them in terms of quality. But this was a good match, a solid match, and accomplished the goal they set out to do. So win-win there. You then had Young Kozen versus Saida and Rise and Shine. I'm gonna get there. Versus Saida and Bia Priestley. This match, I was just like watching, like, come on, please, 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 please. Because obviously Ida and B getting added late could have changed things, right? Could have been like, oh, let's roll with the team that wasn't even in, right? Kind of pull off the shock value. There was no expectation that Ida and B were going to be in this spot. Not only are they now in this spot, but they're making it count, right? They're making a moment out of it. I do not want that. I do not want that for the new blood tag team champions. No, 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 no. Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara had such a strong tournament, and they have shown time and time and time again, as I've said, that they're a very, very strong tag team. They get one another, they click with one another. They just fit as a duo. Simply put, they just fit as a duo. And I think as we've seen this year is Aya Sakura slowly climbing up the ladder, while Sayaka Kurara obviously got shot to the top, right? Winning the Cinderella tournament, World of Stardom Championship match. Uh, Pretty strong performance in the 5-star Grand Prix. A lot of focus and pressure on her, and then slowly kind of, all right, we're gonna bring you back down a little bit and let you kind of relax and chill out in this spot and figure some things out. And I think what those two have done together is figure things out. This match showed that. This match was really solid. B and Saeed, I want to give credit. I want to give credit where credit's due. B had a good tournament. I didn't watch every single one of her matches, but every match that I did see her and Ida team. And listen, when you're teaming with Ida, you're gonna have to go all out because Ida doesn't have an off day, right? But I think she did a good job. I think she did a good job of bringing it, and I think tag team wrestling has always been B's strong suit in terms of her overall game, so it wasn't a shock that this was strong for her. But ultimately, Young Kozen got the win. Oh my god, rise and shine. I'm gonna get there. But I just love the way they're able to win. It's always a Carrara move, and then Aya, kind of rolls them up and gets the shock pin. That's was part of that. That's how they clinched the playoff spot. That's how they ultimately got to the final. Right, you get a spear or a drop kick, and then Aya gets the really cool roll up pin that she's created. So I always love that combination. But this was strong. This was solid, and now it's the next, right? Now we're going to that final day, that semifinal day, and your tournament is set. You have on one side BMI 2000 set to face Bozilla and Akira Kuragane, and then on the other side you have Rise and Shine taking on Hanako and Megan Bain. As tall a task as possible for Rise and Shine, for Ayasaka, for Sayaka Kurara. And I think that's what made the night so perfect to me. I don't know if there was a blowaway match necessarily on the final night. Though I think the final was quite good. But the night rather played to Aya and Sayaka's strengths more than anything else. And for me, I think that's where I really like the booking of this final night. So let's get to that. Plus everything else that happened during the show. We're going to talk about that news. We're going to talk about so much more throughout because there is a lot to celebrate, I think, about the direction we're going forward here right now with Stardom. So we're on to the blue side of things. It was Megan Bayne and Hanako taking on Rise and Shine, Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara, the New Blood Tag Team Champions. Like I said, I'm watching these matches on the edge of my seat. I'm watching these matches with fear because listen, there was a reason to see Hanako and Megan Bayne win, right? They are the two powerhouses. Them versus BMI 2000, the finals could be tempting. Megan Bayne and Bozilla face off in the finals could be tempting, but, but the continued story between Hanako and Aya Sakura lives on, right? The continued story between these two and the rivalry they've developed, whether it be because they are classmates and both trying to reach the top. Aya Sakura taking so many losses in the rivalry, but she got one up right when they won the New Blood Tag Team titles, and now they face off again. And now they do so in the final moments of this match, right? It is focused on these two. And again, it comes down to teamwork. Multiple um, multiple fractures for both Megan and Hanako in this match, knocking into one another, and that is ultimately what led. You are seeing the relationship and friendship and connection between Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara coming through in this final night. Yes, they are the underdogs. Yes, they are facing two skyscrapers, right? They're the skyscrapers or whatever they call them. They're facing a team that is going to potentially run through them. They ran through most of the competition, and yet they already ran through them in this tournament, and yet, tag team cohesion, comfort with one another comes through. Sayaka Kurara hits the drop kick on Hanako. Aya Sakura gets in her roll up and pins her, and the shock is there. I'm just like, yes, yes. Not only playoff spot I said was good enough, but no. Now that we're here, no. We're going all the way. We got to get all the way. They are the ultimate underdogs. They are the ultimate baby faces. Sayaka Kurara in so many ways was kind of made to be the Tam Nakano replacement, right? And Aya Sakura said as much. She's been compared to Arisa Oshiki. That's why she's my demon. I believe in her. There's a reason for that. When she said that in the Tokyo Sports article today, I was like, oh my God. She gets it. She gets it. Oh man, and there's something just so amazing about seeing these two succeed. Listen, I've had the ups and downs with Sayaka Kurara this year, right? I think they put too much on her plate, despite her on most of the time rising to the occasion. I do think they put a lot on her plate, especially coming off of All Star Grand Queendom, right? To be that first world title match with Saya Kamatani was asking a lot, and being a world title match at all was asking a lot. Um, but we saw it in the 5-star her develop. And for Aya Sakura, this is someone I've continuously said on the show, please give her a chance. Please let her shine. Please let her do more. She's ready. She's capable. We saw it in the feud with Chi Chi. We saw it with her Sendai girl stuff. And letting these two pair up was the answer. And seeing them get to the finals of the tag league, for me, that was enough. It really was. It was enough. And I want to give Stardom all the credit in the world because in all of their semifinals this year, right? The Cinderella was obviously a dramatically different tournament, but you put Sayaka Kurara and Rina in the final of that tournament. In the 5-star Grand Prix, you have Rina in there. And now here you have Aya Sakura, Sayaka Kurara, Hanako, Akira Kuragane, all in there, right? All future wrestlers. The future of wrestling is in the future of Joshi. There's no brighter future in wrestling than Joshi wrestling. And it's because of these types of names. And to believe in them, and to believe in Young Kozen, to believe in Rise and Shine, to get to this spot, that's everything, man. That's everything. So yeah, I was pretty thrilled to see them get to the final. And from there, it kind of to me became pretty predictable of who made sense from there. Once they won, it's like, okay, BMI 2000 moves on. And BMI 2000 had to cheat and steal, right? Natsuko Tora, puts the mist into Bozilla's face. Raka hits Bozilla with the box and they pin her. So ultimately, they pin Bozilla, which is probably the biggest shock of the entire match. The match is kind of whatever because one, you know the result, right? You have to have I and Sayaka face the other fellow tag team champions at that point. And I think that's really hurt this match. It never cut off the ground level with me, but ultimately it accomplished what it set out to do. Again, Bozilla and Akira at this point was a really weird spot. It feels like they built that up for the Miku Sareee match, and then they were just kind of here to lose and allow BMI 2000 to the final. But that set up the final. Natsuko Tora Ruaka versus Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara, the two tag team champions in the company, in a final. And we will get to that here in a second. But we have news to talk about first of all. And that starts with the Korakuen here coming up on December 8th. Stardom has this show, they uniquely put the first two matches of this tournament that we just talked about on YouTube, which is awesome, very smart. But the rest of the show's a pay-per-view, and I said to myself, "Okay, so you wanna pay for the final, makes sense to me, but there has to be more, right? There's gonna be news or something coming from this show," and there was plenty. So, the Korakuen on the 8th has been loaded up with major, major things, starting with this, your first match, Artist of Stardom Championship, Rina, Konami, and Fukigen Death will make their latest defense against Waka Tsukiyama, Hanako, and Rion. That is a filler defense, but is a defense nonetheless. But that's not the big news, really. The big news was what came right after this, the return of Maika. Maika is back. She will officially return on that December 8th show as well. So she is going to be involved in Queendom in a big way, I'm guessing. She went face to face with Saya Kamatani. Tough day to be Sayoriano, by the way, because it was, again, kind of looking past Sayoriano, which we've had a lot of. But Sayoriano lost to Mikukane, all these different things. Like, they're still, there's still ups and downs here, right? It's not perfect, but Micah's back. And listen, I have had a very bumpy road with Micah. I know that. Micah Micah's World of Stardom title reign, in retrospect, looking back, is gonna be one of those title reigns that goes very underappreciated, I think, in Stardom's history because it had great matches against Xena and Tomoki Naba and Utami Hayashishita, right? And Saya Kamatani. Is that it? I don't know. Might be it. But it was a reign at a time where there was a lot of change and a lot of happening, right? And then she kind of just changed a lot of her. She underwent change for that 5-star, won the 5-star, then immediately lost, and that's where I just feel like I lost who Micah was. She won me over with the world title reign. She did. And then she changed a lot, and that was interesting, and then obviously she was dealing with the elbow that's been injured forever. But when I saw her appear, and when I saw her show up, I was like, "Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I think this I think this promotion, Stardom, needs her really bad right now. Not because they're doing bad in business at all. They are still selling tickets like you wouldn't believe. That is not the problem at all. But I think to have that main character that's very clearly going to be opposing Saya Kamatani makes all the sense, right? There hasn't been commitment to Natsupoi in that role. There hasn't been any commitment to Sariano in that role. Momo Watanabe was not that. I think Starlight Kid probably also can be that, but she's out right now, and Hanan's out right now. Those are other options. We need someone to come back, and for her, Maika, who has a long-standing connection with Saya Kamatani and is factually the biggest match the Reign probably has right now in front of it. it was a welcome return, and she looks rejuvenated, she looks pumped. I read her interview with Tokyo Sports about, being out of wrestling. It's like one of those interviews where you're like, you just gotta remember these people at the end of the day, and that's what it was for me. It's like, okay, I'm excited. I'm excited for her to be back, though I see this AXV. We need Xena back now, okay? We got Maika back. Let's get Xena back. I will be cooking, okay? Um, but welcome back to Maika. Very excited to see what that match is on the 8th, and I'm excited to see what it turns into at Queendom as well, because obviously she should be in a big match. It's time to build her up because her and Saya Kamatani having that face off was no silly idea. That is going to be either Supreme Fight or All Star Grand Queendom. It's probably going to be All Star Grand Queendom, right? But it's going to be a major title match for Saya Kamatani next year and a major match overall. So, welcome back to Maika. I'm happy she's back. I'm excited she's back, and I'm looking forward to what comes from this. But a much needed return, a much welcomed return for her. After that, we also got more news. It will not be Hanan, like many believed, to be challenging Konami at the Stardom Dream Queendom show at Ryogoku. Instead, it's going to be one of these two. Konami said after, kind of running in on their match, it's going to be Ami Sareee versus Saida at the December 8th Corkin. We're doing a whole review for the show and talk about the everything that comes with it. So look out for that on Monday of next week, week from today. But it's going to be Ami Sourei versus Saida, number one contenders match. Winner goes on to Ryogoku Sumo Hall to face Konami for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. And I just said to myself, like, man, all I've been asking for is Saida get that opportunity. And this should be that opportunity, right? Especially if we're leading to Hanan eventually. Saida needs to get that opportunity. Now, I think you can probably go Ami, Saya, Hanan very easily. But it's just hard not to root for Saida with all the work she's put in. And that's not to say Ami Sarai hasn't put in. I've been very supportive of Ami and what she's done since she's come back. But man, Ida's ready. Ida's so ready to just get that huge opportunity. And Ryogoku Kusumo Hall, man, like here's the thing. I don't think the challenger for Konami needs to be a big name to sell more tickets. Stardom selling tickets like crazy. That show is, I'm pretty sure, close to sold out, if not very close. I have no idea. But I know they're selling well. So go with it. Tell the story. Ami Sarai, someone who I could see also just win the Wonder of Stardom Championship, right? She came back in a major way, and then kind of it calmed down, and it's been a lot of what is next for Ami Sarai. So I'm welcoming, and this match is gonna rule. This match is gonna rule. It should main event that show. I think the title match probably will, but I would have this main event if the Maika match isn't like gigantic as well. But this was great news. I welcome these two facing off, and I was like, man, that's going to be a heater. So looking forward to that next Monday as well. I think they're great two options and fit into that Wonder of Stardom title picture very well for right now and next year. I think I think they deserve that spot. So then we had one other match I want to talk about. It was Natsupoi and Yuna Mizumori versus Sareee and Miku Kane. So the continuation of the feud between Natsupoi and Sareee that is building up here, right? To me, all signs point to Stardom Dream Queendom for sure. That's the direction. Like you can just feel it. But there's always the curveball. And while I thought this match was really good, probably the second best match on the show, because shouts out Unimis and more, you put in the work every single time. You deserve a big spot. Hopefully, you get that high speed title from Mai Sarah very soon. I think you are beyond ready for that spot. And Miku Kane been very good as well. But Natsupoi and Sareee minutes are money. They are money right now. And they're telling a story. They're telling a fantastic story, right? Natsupoi keeps saying, ever since that Sareeism show, I feel alive again, right? For she had that interview is like ever since my anniversary show, just haven't felt like myself. And Sareee saw that. Sareee sees that in me. And that maybe that's why she wants me in this match, and Natsupoi continuously say, "Now I want to crush you. I see what I need, and it's to beat you. That is how I get back on the saddle. That's how I push myself to be great again." And well, Natsupoi pins me Kukana here. She gets in the face of Sareee and says, "I want to face you one on one. I want to face you one on one. I need this match. I want this match." And Sareee says, "No, no. Why? What about this match is different? You haven't proven enough to me that we should do this match. This match doesn't do enough for me. You're not to the level. Prove some more that you should be facing me." After all, Sareee pinned Natsupoi at Sareeism. They beat them in the tag league, right? This was just a tag match. And I think that speaks to the moment of prove some more. And I think you're seeing Sareee bring out the absolute best in Natsupoi, a best that I thought her and Sayaka Kurara was legitimately great. Um, but you're seeing her bring out the Natsupoi that so many talked about for years of that's going to be an amazing Wonder of Stardom champion. That can be someone at the very top of this company. And when Tam Nakano retired, that's what Natsupoi had to be. And I don't know if she reached that spot outside of, again, a great little build with Saya Kamatani, but this feud, this story, her continuing to have to prove herself, I'm sure the Corkin's the next chapter of this, and I'm really looking forward to it. This singles match is going to rock, could steal the show, could be one of the best matches of the year when it comes, and I think the story beats are great. Keep telling it. I'm all for it. So let's talk about that final. It was BMI 2000, Ruaka and Natsuko Tora taking on Young Kozen, Rise and Shine, Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara. And this match was the ideal final for what the result was going to be. And that, of course, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm so happy I am, was Rise and Shine, Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara winning the Goddesses of Stardom Tag League. Unreal. Unreal. You know, if you listen to my preview, you heard me say, like, they're not gonna do it. They probably won't even put them in the playoffs. They should. They should. I'd love it. They should even win the whole thing. But I said, they're not gonna do that. They did it, and it was as good of a result as I could have asked for. The match was really well done. You know, you have the heels continuously going after them, and you have the resilient baby faces. You have Aya, you have Sayaka, and they continue to show tag team chemistry. They continue to show that they are one. They are fighting together. There's no singles here. There's no apart. They are fighting together, and they are going to do it in every which way. So many times, you know, Aya hits a big kick. She's like, "Come on, let's go," and just vice versa. And I think that's why I love them as a tag team. They feel. I think tag team wrestling misses something like that, especially right now. Like there's great tag teams out there, and there's been some amazing tag team wrestling matches this year. But it comes down to a team feeling like a team. Sometimes tag teams can feel like individuals that become a tag team. These two just feel like a team. And I think it's amazing to watch. And the way they're able to win and way they're able to come through. And Sayaka Kurara is now the one getting the big moment, getting the big win by pinning Natsuko Tora. That's awesome. That's amazing. And it plays to what we saw in the 5-star Grand Prix, right? If you go back to that, one of the best matches of that entire tournament was Natsuko Tora and Sayaka Kurara. Cork and Hall. And I remember every part of me believing Sayaka Kurara was going to win that match, and she didn't. So we run it back here. We bring it back to this moment. I don't know how many people remember the moment. I do. And I was watching it, the way they trade the sleepers and the fire up and trying to cheat right with the mist and taking the spear from Natsuko, the same spear that kind of marked the end of her in that 5-star Grand Prix, running it back, Sayaka getting her spear and ultimately getting those shoulders down just long enough to get the win. It was everything I could have asked for from this final. It's not like the greatest Goddess of Stardom Tag League final of all time or Tag League or whatever it may be, but it is a job well done. It's an accomplishment, and ultimately, when you leave this tournament, you are walking around saying, "That was a success." Rise and Shine deserve this. Rise and Shine rule, and they're gonna redo this match. They're gonna redo this match probably at Queendom because that's how this usually goes. I can't wait. I can't wait. Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara are ultimate baby faces in this promotion. They are the heir apparent to what peak Cosmic Angels popularity could have been. I firmly believe in these two. So I'm really excited to see them end their years, not only winning the tag league and getting that big spot, but doing so and moving into a spot where they can win gold. They're probably not going to win BMI 2000. I wouldn't have them beat BMI 2000. We don't need double champions. Actually, I probably would have them beat BMI 2000. I won't lie to you. But it's going to be a hell of a story. It's going to be a hell of a match to tell, and I can't wait for that. So, a job well done by Stardom, a job well done by these two specifically. Rise and Shine are here to stay. They want to be what Dream Shine could be and win those tag belts and all these different things. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. These two are awesome. These two are the reasons to watch. Two of the best reasons to watch, I should say. And I'm very excited for where we're going with both of them. Aya Sakura, you are my demon. I've believed in you. Sayaka Kurara, you are everything they believe in you to be. And you're only going to keep getting better and better. You're getting there. You're going to be ready next year. You're challenging for that Wonder Storm title. I can feel Aya Sakura, you should be doing the same. We're going to save that all for the Joshi predictions that we do at the beginning of the year after everything settles down in that Wrestle Kingdom week. But trust me, we got predictions for both of them. Bravo to both of them. Now go have one of the best tag matches possible for those tag belts coming up probably at Queendom. So thumbs up for me in terms of the winners. Thumbs up for me in terms of the final night. And the one final little news bit that I saved it for last because it was announced after the show, but it made me so happy. Matoy Hamabe and Ann Kanaya are coming back December 8th, Corkin Hall. I was so happy. Listen, I love Aya Sakura, I love Sayaka Cry. I think the rookie crops the past couple years have been really good for Stardom. But these two, Matoy was my pick. She was good, and then she got hurt, and I was like, bummer. And then Ann and I had like 8 matches, maybe, and I think it was 8 matches, and then she got hurt, and she showed so much charisma and so much potential. I was like, oh, these two rookies, like for me, my two favorite rookies, probably after Rise and Shine that Stardom has in their company over the past couple years, like this is awesome. And I kind of want them to be together. I like them together. They're friends. They're always together. Just have them be together. Forget it. Matoy has such high potential. I really do believe that. I think her background brings a lot of excitement. And then Anne, like I said, has so much charisma that kind of jumped off the page in those first matches to a point where I was like, this is very unique for a Stardom rookie. So welcome back to both of them. That December 8th show is gonna have the return of Maika, the return of Matoy, the return of Anne, Artist of Stardom Championship match, and number 1 contenders match. That's the most hyped I've been for a Stardom show in months. Truly. I can't wait for that show. Like, it doesn't need a world title match. It doesn't need a wonder. It just there's things happening, and these two being back is gonna make those house shows way more exciting for me personally. Man, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. This is the most pumped I've been in a while, so hopefully you're all pumped as well. But that's it here from the Stardom Update, Joshi Weekly, right here on the channel. Hopefully you enjoyed this edition, the way we're doing this. I'm going to keep playing with it, keep doing different things with it in terms of how we do the Joshi Weekly, because I think uniquely, there's a lot of fun ways to utilize what I think is a fun series, because I can kind of just dive in and talk about any major things from week to week and not have to have a majorly long video. and so many other things. We have a lot of series here, but hopefully the Stardom updates will continue. The more we have news like this and shows like this where we don't need to be a big full show review, we do those as well. Yeah, I think this works really well. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know below. Let me know. Give me some feedback. Do you like the Stardom updates? Do you like the Joshi weeklies? I need to know. I need to read them. Because we just keep churning along here. We will have a full show review next Monday, so not a Joshi Weekly, but we'll have a full show review next week, and that will be a Korakuen review for Stardom. Next Wednesday, we're going to have or Wednesday, Thursday, I plan to have another Joshi Weekly. That'll be a Marigold edition because we'll talk about the white belt matches from over the weekend, the Superfly match from over the weekend, and then they have a Shinjuku Face show that Wednesday. So a good way to kind of bring all those title matches into one review and talk about it and what's next for Marigold. So hopefully you look forward to that as well. And like I said, with the year end coming around, I have so many great ideas that I'm really excited to bring to the table. So hopefully you are too. So stay tuned, leave a like, make sure you subscribe. We're on the way to 1,000. Once we get to 1,000, I'm going to celebrate. I'm honestly, like, when I started this channel full force this year, yeah, it started last year technically, but when I went full in on YouTube, I never knew what to believe. Ultimately, this is a Joshi channel, right? It's a niche inside of a niche. I'm here to spread my love for Joshi more than anything else, and hopefully spread Joshi to many of you who may want to get into it. So thank you everyone who has listened. Thank you to everyone who has commented, liked, all these different things. And hopefully you enjoyed the continued evolution of the channel. I'm trying to add something new each and every week. I have new stuff planned for next year overall. We have 2 big time series that you can look forward to. You can probably figure out pretty easily if you think about it, and so much more. So please leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts were on the Tag League, what your thoughts were on Rise and Shine winning. Do you enjoy these Joshi Weekly shows and segments and ways to kind of be a podcast like the 5-Star Joshi Show? Um, Let me know. Let me know. I'm all ears. I'm all ears. I'm gonna have some posts coming out soon too, as well, in terms of the 5-Star Awards. We won't release the official ballot until after Queendom. We like to make sure we get everything in after Queendom. But we will have ballots for the 2025 awards here very soon. I will be sharing that on the channel. If you haven't done it, if you haven't seen it, go check out the 5-Star 2025 awards from earlier this year. It's going to be the 4th annual, I believe. It keeps growing. It keeps getting really exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you everyone though for your support. I've said a lot of words in the past like 3 minutes. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to end it here, but like I said, we'll be back Monday for sure. Maybe we'll be back before that, but back Monday for Korakuen, back next Wednesday for a Joshi Weekly Marigold edition. And we're also just going to keep taking a look at the rest of the Joshi world while building towards the end of the year. So thank you, everyone. Happy holidays. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrated, and I hope you have a happy holiday season over this next month. Thank you so much, everyone, and make sure you keep sticking around because I'm going to keep bringing the content. Until next time, everyone, so long. See you later. Bye-bye.